I was hiding bodies in my basement when the landlord called 911. The banging started at 7:23 a.m., jolting me awake from the first decent sleep I'd gotten in weeks. My forensic pathology thesis was due in 18 days, and I'd been pulling all-nighters in the basement, surrounded by anatomical specimens that would make most people vomit. The knocking got louder, more insistent, echoing through my small rental house like gunshots. "Alex, open up! It's Leonard!" My landlord's voice carried that edge he got when something was seriously wrong. I stumbled down the stairs in my boxers and yesterday's t-shirt, reeking of formaldehyde and coffee. Through the peephole, I could see Leonard Kowalski bouncing on his heels, cell phone pressed to his ear. I cracked the door open. "Leonard, what's going on? It's barely 7 in the morning." My voice came out hoarse from breathing chemical fumes all night while working on tissue samples. "The Hendersons next door called about a smell coming from your house," he said, pushing past me into the living room. "Said it smells like something died in here. I tried calling you 6 times last night." My stomach dropped. I'd been so focused on my thesis that I hadn't checked my phone in days. The basement door stood open at the end of the hallway, and even from here, the sharp smell of preservatives mixed with something more organic was unmistakable. Leonard stopped walking and stared toward the basement. His face went completely white. "Jesus Christ, Alex. What is that smell?" I tried to explain, but my words tumbled out wrong. "It's for school, my thesis project. I've got specimens downstairs for my forensic pathology research. Everything's legal. I have documentation from the university." But Leonard wasn't listening anymore. He was walking toward the basement like a man in a trance, his phone still pressed to his ear. I heard him say, "Yeah, I'm here now. There's definitely something wrong. The smell is overwhelming." "Leonard, wait!" I called after him, but he was already at the top of the basement stairs, looking down into my makeshift laboratory. The silence stretched for what felt like hours. Then he started screaming. What Leonard saw when he looked into my basement was 3 years of medical school preparation compressed into a space that looked like a serial killer's workshop. 2 complete human skeletons hung from ceiling hooks, their bones yellowed with age. Glass jars lined metal shelving units containing organs suspended in formaldehyde like grotesque trophies. A steel table dominated the center of the room, stained with chemicals and covered with surgical instruments. Brain tissue samples sat in petri dishes, labeled with dates and case numbers from the county morgue. Photographs of decomposing bodies covered one wall, part of my research into post-mortem changes. Leonard stumbled backward, his phone clattering to the floor. "Oh God! Oh my God! What have you done?" His voice cracked as he backed toward the front door, fumbling for the handle. "It's not what it looks like," I shouted, chasing after him. "Those are teaching specimens. I got them legally from the medical school. Leonard, please, let me show you the documentation." But he was already outside, screaming for the neighbors. Mrs. Henderson appeared at her window, saw Leonard's face, and immediately disappeared back inside. Within minutes, I could see curtains twitching in every house on the block. I ran back inside and grabbed my university paperwork from the kitchen counter. The procurement forms, the research approval letters, the chain of custody documents for every specimen. Everything that proved I wasn't a monster, just a dedicated student trying to finish his forensic pathology thesis. By the time I got back outside, Leonard had called 911. I could hear sirens in the distance, getting closer. My hands shook as I held the papers, knowing that no matter what I said now, those first impressions would define everything that happened next. The first patrol car arrived within 4 minutes, followed by 2 more units and an ambulance. Officer Miranda Walsh stepped out of the lead car, her hand resting on her weapon as she approached Leonard, who was still hyperventilating on the sidewalk. "Sir, we got a report of suspicious activity and possible human remains," she said, her eyes scanning between Leonard and me. "Can you tell us what's going on?" Leonard pointed at me with a shaking finger. "He's got bodies down there, dead bodies and organs. It's like something out of a horror movie." The smell, he doubled over and dry heaved. Officer Walsh's partner, Sergeant James Murphy, moved toward my front door while speaking into his radio. "We're going to need forensics out here. Possible homicide scene." "Wait, please." I held up my documentation, but Officer Walsh pushed me back with one hand while drawing her weapon with the other. "Step away from the house and put your hands behind your head," she ordered. Full story on my channel and linked below.